Okay, welcome into another edition of GCM Eats. And, of course, I'm Pat Dooley. We got a great group here. And, of course, our great sponsors for this show, Benny Keith and Comfort Temp. Pat Dooley, I don't write for the Gainesville Sun anymore, but I do a lot of writing. And, of course, I host another Dooley Noted podcast every Monday and Friday, and also host radio with Jeff Cardozo 5 days a week, still writing for Gators Wire. So I'm not retired. I'm kind of retired. My daughter says I'm the worst retired person ever. Anyway, we got quite a panel here today. We'll start off with Greg Jasinski, of course, who's a managing partner here at Texas Roadhouse. And what's it been like for you to get out here and kind of move out to this new building out here?
Pat, we opened up in 1993 in Butler Plaza.
Right.
And we were there for 25 years, which is hard for me to believe. But we really kind of outgrew the building. The response from the community was so tremendous, and we built up such a great business there that we probably should have relocated 10 years ago. But we finally found a parcel and some great people to work with in Celebration Point. So it'll be 3 years in November, so about 2.5 years. But the facility's better. The people like the parking. Even down to the restrooms are better. So I think the local people really appreciated it.
That was a little bit of an issue, the parking over that store, yeah.
We had 52 parking spots by actual count. So, and we serve about 10,000 people a week. So that was kind of a struggle. But it's been a lot better over here. And, of course, there's a lot of development still going on in the area here. So we're really excited to be here.
Absolutely. Also, John Waldrop's here from Comfort Temp, of course, one of our sponsors. And, you got to be busy this time of year, man, because the other day I got in my car, and I know it's not actually reflective of how hot it is, but in the car it is. It said 109. Okay, that's 109 is crazy.
Yeah, it's been crazy hot. Our commercial guys up on the roofs where it's 120, 140 degrees, feet sticking to the roof, to the tar. Which I had that happen to me years ago where I went to move and my shoe came off because it was stuck to the roof. But even our residential guys, it's been brutal this year for sure.
And, of course, at the end there, last but not least, obviously, great player Trent Whittemore, of course, from Buchholz and now with the Florida Gators. And I think excited about this year and a healthy year I'm hoping you're going to have.
Yes, sir. Feeling well, really excited for the season. Like you said, just praying for good health and a good year for me and all my teammates. Obviously a big change this offseason with the new staff, but it's been a smooth transition. Long offseason, but a good offseason. We're ready to get everything going.
Yeah, it is a long offseason. Well, the thing is, John, when Utah comes in here, I got to think it's going to be a little hot for them for that first game, even though it's a 7 o'clock game.
Yeah, they definitely need to hydrate a lot.
You should be able to sell them some fans or something that you can put on their bench.
Yeah, I think normally a lot of them do have the misters or the AC units down there on the field for them. At least I hope they do. If not, they need to get it for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's kind of interesting as we get ready for the season. I always joke that everybody says, well, it's the start of college football season because it was SEC Media Days. It's still 42 days away, okay? So it's not exactly right around the corner. There's still a long way to go till we get there, but I know that for a business like you can't wait for football season because not only do the students all get back, but people are looking to get out and do more things.
That's true. And we've had a lot of experience over the years. I remember games being canceled because of hurricanes, and we were all amped up for that. I can't remember what year that was. But it certainly
15.
Helps out a lot, and we have a lot of people that come in from the surrounding areas, and they need a place to eat, so we're here for them.
Yeah, I think it was 16. Yeah, 2016.
16.
Yeah, the game was canceled even though there was a beautiful day.
Right.
And everybody lost their minds. All those LSU people. Come on, what's wrong with you guys? But yeah, it's kind of cool. Why no peanuts on the floor? When I came in here, I said, "Where are the peanuts?"
The peanuts are definitely part of our the culture and the ambiance. I know a lot of people talk about COVID and what's happened with COVID, but we used to have a bucket on the table, and we got rid of that, because the governor said you can open, but you can't have anything on the table. You got to have sanitizers. We were lucky that we were able to be open because we just did a to-go model for about 2 months. We just served people in the parking lot. We still do have peanuts. We have them in a bag. And sometimes you have to ask your server for them, but we still do have them available, just
Yeah.
out on the table. If you want to throw them on the floor, that's cool too.
They're legendary. You know, the peanuts out here. You know, there's no question about it. You know, I'm just thinking, Trent, how in a way you can't wait for camp to start, but then when camp starts, you're going to be kind of going, I can't wait for camp to be over.
Yeah, camp is like you said, it's a rough time of year for the player. You're excited. You just mentioned media day. Everybody says, you know, season's here, and the players are thinking, well, we got a barrier to get through before we actually play a football game, and that's fall camp. But yeah, it's a time of year where you're pretty focused, just football and the hotel, and that's pretty much life. But getting through that with your teammates, coming out on the other side,
Sure.
and then obviously that work pays off later on down the road with a long season that lasts all the way through December and hopefully January.
Yeah, you want to be playing in January. That's the
right.
biggest thing. By the way, I forgot to mention this, Texas Roadhouse for the GCM app, that you can get $3 off your meal here. Am I holding that the right way? There it is, okay. You can get $3 off for your meal here if you just download this app, the GCM app. So there you go. Cool. All right, and I know that it's nice that you guys are able to do that for them.
Yes, we do have a lot of repeat customers that come in a lot, and we actually have some early dine specials that we run during the week, and that's very popular for people from 11 to 4. But we still try to keep the value good. I mean, you come in, you're hungry, you eat the bread, you eat the peanuts, and then we'll serve you a nice steak, and you're pretty full by the time you leave.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's going to be interesting to see how crazy it gets out here during football season. And again, this is, I would think, your toughest time there, John, because you have to deal with so many people's air conditioning breaking down, which mine did the other day because you got a paper bag stuck in it. But that's weird in itself. But when it gets to the fall, does that make it a little bit easier for you?
It does slow down a little bit, but due to our amount of clients we have, we start doing a lot of preventative maintenance, you know, getting ready for the winter, cleaning up from some of the neglect during the summer.
Right.
So, yeah, we stay pretty steady. And then even on the commercial side, it's year-round that we service our clients. A lot of it is not comfort cooling, a lot of it is equipment cooling for industrial sites and different things.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. You guys work with a lot of different restaurants and bars and everything like that, so it keeps you on your toes, doesn't it?
It sure does. It keeps us busy.
Well, and you got to drive all the way in from Chiefland every day, so.
I enjoy the drive. That's my get ready for the day, and then at night to kind of cool off a little bit before I get home.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, Trent, I'm wondering about the wide receiver room this year. That a lot of people were downplaying it, and then Pearsall comes in, and everybody's kind of excited about it again. I mean, I know you just probably been running some drills with him just on your own, but what do you see out of him?
Yeah, Ricky's going to be a great player. He adds a lot to our room. I think the guys are excited just to get out there and go prove something. Like you said, we've had some people kind of downplaying us throughout this offseason, but I think that we have a lot of guys who are have the potential to make big time plays and weren't able to put it together last year necessarily. But you know, people quickly forget that we were one of the best passing offenses just a couple years ago, and I know there was some players who are in the NFL now that were a big part of that, but. There were some guys that played in those games as well that are still here, and we're 2 years better. So we're ready to prove a lot this year.
Yeah, what's your take on Billy so far? Because I always tell people when I go to the Gator clubs and stuff, I go, he has not lost one game at Florida yet. He's still undefeated, but he seems to be saying all the right things at all the right places. Yeah,
he definitely is. He's a really good guy. I like his leadership. He came in and he stayed true to his word, which is tough to do as a head coach. When you're kind of coming in, you got all these people, you know, you should change this, you should change that, and you want to change all of it for them. That can be a lot, and he made some promises to get a couple things changed around campus, switch up a couple off-season routines, and we were able to accomplish all of that. So hats off to him for that, and setting a really good culture. Like you said, he hasn't coached a game at the University of Florida yet. People say the best time of year is before the first game, because anybody can win the national championship before the first game's played.
That's right.
So
everybody, even at Vanderbilt.
Hey, they can do anything, right? So you're right about that, and but I'm excited to get out on the field with him. He's going to be calling our offense. I'm excited to be out on the field as he sends in the signals and gets us in the right spots to make big-time plays. So it's going to be a good fall.
You know, that first weekend is going to be a great weekend for college football, and the Florida-Utah game is one of them. And by the way, you guys are underdog, just so you know, 2.5 points right now.
I did not know that.
It could change, so that may fires you up even that much more. But, you know, I was just looking over here. The TV setup is unbelievable. This seems like a good place to be if you couldn't go to the game to watch that and Ohio State Notre Dame at the same time.
We definitely stepped up the audio-visual package. We still do line dancing in the restaurant, so we can show the country music videos on there. And, of course, the sporting events are good. And I can switch the sound over so we can actually hear what's going on as well as seeing it in the bar area. So it's really nice.
Yeah, it looks really cool. I'm going to have to check it out sometime. But, you know, it's you're excited for football season, right? I mean, just getting here. And the trouble we have is that right now there's nothing going on. Like, unless you're a huge baseball guy, which I'm not, you know, I like the Braves, and that's about it. But we kind of need to get to football season, don't we?
Yeah, me definitely. I love Gator sports, period, but football season is like my family with my son Jonathan, my daughter Janya. They're already sending me text messages. Hey, I want to go to this game. I want to make sure we go to this game. And then to tell them I was going to be here with Mr. Trent today, my daughter was like, can I come? I'm like, no, baby, you can't come to this one. But, yeah, we're definitely excited about the new season. I'm excited about every season, but I'm really, really ready for this season.
Yeah, I think everybody kind of wants to wash away last season in a way, you know. And that, unfortunately, that things didn't work out there, and you have a culture change, and that's. I mean, you know, when you take over a restaurant, when you take over a business, you culture change happens in those businesses too, doesn't it?
Absolutely, and we do have. I mean, we're really blessed that we have a lot of applicants because UF provides us with a constant flow of applications. Yeah. The bad news is you get some good ones, and then they're going to graduate and go and do something else, and probably be way more successful than me. But it's nice. It's nice to see the youth come in and just have that culture, introduce our culture to them, and them take it with them when they leave. So it's kind of cool. Yeah, absolutely. You know, you got this steak out here, which I want to eat. Okay, and I'm grabbing it with both hands, but I don't know if Coach Napier would be happy with that because there's no vegetables on there. So
yeah, we got a new nutrition staff in. I don't know if they'd approve of the plate or not, but
you've got 3 nutrition coaches, right?
We do. Yeah, we do have a big nutrition staff. They've helped out a lot. I've had some diet changes myself. Hopefully that shows some result on the field. I'm not the most naturally shredded guy in the weight room or anything like that, but I'm doing what I can.
Did you cut something out? I mean,
I cut out some fried things. I mean, I didn't eat terrible in the first place, but just trying to just put even more of a focus on that. And yeah, I saw some result from it for sure. At the end of the day, you got to go play football, and that's the biggest thing. But there's definitely things off the field that can enhance your play, just little by little.
Yeah, it's funny. I asked Spurrier about that because with Billy Napier having 3 nutrition coaches, and Spurrier said, "You know who the nutrition coach was when I was here? Me. I go around and say, get some green on your plates, guys." And then Jerry would come in and go, "You guys got to put a salad on there." But I mean, that's how much college football has changed. You know, now they've got this staff of 1,000 people. Before it was the coaches and a couple of trainers, and that was it.
We've already fed you guys like 3 times, I think, before the season's even started. And I just saw an email from one of the gals in the nutrition department. We're going to do it again in like a week or so. So
yeah, well, I'm always excited when y'all cater dinner. So
those boys can eat. They can eat, and we feed the coaches, the players, all of them. And the salad table's not real popular. They go after the meat.
They're working on that.
When you have those rolls and steak that looks like that and the butter, sometimes people just skip right past it.
Right.
I mean, I skip past it myself when I come here and get $3 off. It's usually not for a salad. So.
Well, it's certainly going to be an interesting year, and we'll be back and talk more about it, and with Greg and John and Trent, and we're going to eat too. We get to eat. They can't bring us in here and not feed us.
We're here at Texas Roadhouse. We might as well.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll take a break. We'll come back with more of GCM Eats. All right, welcome back to GCM Eats, of course, brought to you by Benny, Keith, and by Comfort Temp. And we have been served food here, so we are ready to eat it. And Greg, I know here at Texas Roadhouse, we've got a variety of stuff. Tell us what we got here.
We have got some very classic Texas Roadhouse dishes here. Trent's got the roadkill down there. No, we don't scrape it up off the road.
But he ordered that without looking at the menu. I mean, I know that.
He said he's been in before. So
I'm an ACR my whole life, and I've been to this Texas. Well, the one in Butler and this one many times. So
yeah.
I don't really need to look at the menu.
So that's the roadkill. We got some nice steamed veggies there. So Trent gets his vegetables, and of course rice for the starch. And then we've got a 8-ounce sirloin over here. We sell more of the 8 and 6-ounce sirloins than any other cut on the menu. We cut all of our steaks here, so we have a lot of control over the quality and also the sizing, so we can offer a variety of sizes. I've got a fairly new, I think we put this on the menu 5 years ago, so that's new for us because we don't really change it much. And it's herb-crusted chicken. It's very popular, especially at lunchtime. And then you've got the classic grilled barbecue chicken breast.
It's the most tender chicken I've ever had, I swear. I've never had chicken that just melts in your mouth like that.
I'm not going to tell you the secret.
Why?
Because then you'll cook
I
it
could
at your
cook it
house.
at home, yeah.
Right, and we want you to come here.
Well, I'm still going to cook sometimes at home. You know that.
That's fair.
I didn't know that you had played, John. You played football for a long time. I'm not judging by your size. I thought you might have, but yeah, you were a pretty good player, right?
Yes, sir. I played in Jacksonville. I grew up in Jacksonville. Played for a Christian school, Temple Christian School there in Jacksonville. Played against Willie McClennan, which was a ex-Gator, and then played. A guy on my team was Dwayne Carswell, where he went on to play for the Denver Broncos as a tight end for them for many years.
Yeah, it's. What about college? Did you get a chance to go play in college?
I went for a little bit and then got shin splints really bad and just just quit and went into the work life.
Yeah, but that's the good thing that you deal with now with the athletes, with the football players, especially with all these NIL deals that everybody's got going, and it's just it allows you to get yourself. And I know that Coach Napier is telling you guys this. That it's about setting up your future. It's not about having enough money so you can go out to eat or take your girlfriend out. It's about setting up things for the future. Yeah,
it's really a unique opportunity. I would kind of put it like this. I know a lot of people may be saying, this isn't the college football of old and this and that, which is true, but it's truly a multi-billion-dollar industry, I would say. Every year college football is.
Yep.
And the guys driving it are the stars that are out there on the field every Saturday, So those guys are able to get compensated for that now, and that's a great thing for the player. And like you said, it can help set us up for our future in life, because you never know. Some of these guys who are successful in college may not be that successful in the pros, but they're able to see some financial gain from what they did in college and what they produced. And like I said, just set themselves up for a better future for them and their family.
Yeah, I didn't know this until he and I were talking off the air that they can now actually have a football out there during the summer. And I remember in the old days, they couldn't even, if a coach was even out there. In fact, I remember Florida way back in the 80s got in trouble because they had coaches watching guys work out. Now you can actually have a little more participation in work.
Yeah, they passed a rule that coaches can be out there with the ball for, I think it's 2 hours now over the summer. So, excuse me. It's definitely a change, and it like I was telling you earlier, kind of makes for more team activity with the ball.
Right.
Makes that a more common thing over the summer, where you're able to get some good on good, some 7-on-7 some team reps in, which wasn't really a thing in the past couple of years.
Well, that's the thing. We talk about team all the time. You guys have to have teams that are working in your businesses too. I mean, if guys aren't getting their job done, it's just like if the left guard doesn't block the right guy, running back gets blown up. If one guy doesn't do something or one person doesn't show up for work, it's the same deal.
If the broil cook doesn't show up, that's definitely a problem. I mentioned earlier, we are pretty fortunate that we have as big a staff as we do, and most of the people in front of the house are part-time. But I'm happy to say we have 182 people on the payroll here, and they're all local people that go to school here, work here. You've got families here, so it's the biggest staff that we've had since I've been here.
Yeah, I mean for both you guys, I mean I think for you too, John, having to deal with COVID and having to deal with people not wanting to go to work and obviously not wanting to be exposed to things, that had to be tough on you.
Yeah, it hit, I think, every company around when COVID hit, but luckily for our business, we were an essential business that we were able to continue to work and people were able to continue to earn a paycheck. So that helped us out.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you have, I mean, I would assume that you're ready for Utah, right? You're ready for that game.
I'm ready for every single game this year, every one of them.
Well, it is an interesting schedule, and I think that lends itself to, and I know that you guys at a restaurant, you kind of like those 7 o'clock games because then it allows people to come in and eat and do all their thing before they go to the game.
Well, on the 7 o'clocks, the people that are traveling from out of town, they usually stay overnight, like after the game. So we're busier the next day, which is a Sunday morning, which is a great lunch for us anyway. But a lot of people will stay overnight and fill up the local hotels. So that is good. Sometimes, I mean, if the team's doing too well, Trent, it's like people are at the game. Like if we were at the game, we'd be at a tailgate. We wouldn't be sitting here, right? So sometimes it goes against us, but we like to have a place that we can at least accommodate the parking now and the volume of people now. So it's great. We're also on if you have like a parking pass. Yeah. The big RVs, we've got an app offer on the back of those this year again. Last year they were virtual last year, and this year it's an actual placard that hang in the car like the olden days. 2 years ago, pre-COVID.
The old days. The
so
olden days.
Too, yeah.
With the leather helmets. What about you, Trent? I mean, a lot of guys will say they don't like 7 o'clock games because you sit around all day. You sit around. Coaches try to keep you going, try to get you motivated, go over things again, but you've already been over them. You'd probably like those noon games, don't you? I
do like to play at noon. I like to wake up and play. Less walkthroughs. Those get annoying after a while, like you're saying. I mean, you've been looking at this stuff all week, look at it again and again and again. And it is weird. You wake up in the hotel for a night game, and then you get some downtime, usually by yourself at midday. And it's like, should I nap? And then you got to wake up again. And it's like, it's a weird deal. But obviously the game is a cool atmosphere at night. But yeah, I prefer the noon games. And
I think, and you guys all know this. I mean, night games at the Swamp can be electric, especially with a big opponent. Obviously, if it's Eastern Washington or somebody, it's not the same. But with Utah coming in here for only the second time ever, that place is going to be hopping.
Yeah, I'm excited for the atmosphere. Them, and then not to look ahead. I'm focused on Utah, but I know we get Kentucky after that. Yeah. So we're starting the year off with some big time matchups.
So just as fans, does it bother you that nobody thinks Florida's going to be any good this year? I mean, I know it bothers the players, but does it bother you as a?
Well, over the years, and I say this, if you ever listen to sports announcers while you're watching it on TV, they've been against Florida for the last 30 years. So it don't bother me. Let them think we're the underdog, and the Gators always prove them wrong.
Yeah. My professional football team alignment is the Green Bay Packers, and they always trash us in the preseason. So I'm not that worried.
Come on, you got Aaron Rodgers, man. I mean, can't be too bad.
You talk about Aaron too much that it's all about Aaron. It's not the Aaron show. It's the Green Bay Packers, Pat.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that because I was thinking about this, how Miami got rid of the turnover chain. Mario Cristobal announced that, and I was thinking, what really bothered me about that chain was that it meant I did something, not we did something. And that is, and you know this, Trent, it's about team, and sometimes guys get caught up in who they are and not who the team is.
Yeah, I think Coach Napier has done a good job of encouraging guys to celebrate with their teammates, and just kind of he talks about capturing momentum, and you don't capture momentum by celebrating by yourself. You capture momentum by including teammates, and one guy's success becomes another guy's success on the next play or the next drive or something like that. So I think Coach Napier's done a really good job of that.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's done a lot of good things, the little things. I mean, parking would be one of them.
Yeah, parking. I know y'all do a good job of it here at Roadhouse. It's a nightmare on campus, but I guess we get some extra exercise in walking around. But he was able to solve that issue somewhat by giving us some spots there on the front lot next to the white tents, where the white tents usually are on game day. So that was huge for the players.
Now, it used to be media parking, and that was great because I would get my wife would go there, and she'd be the center of attention. All these people come in, and all the big. And they went, nah, media, we're going to move you over to Flavette. So it's not quite as nice over there, but it certainly is interesting. It's going to be an interesting season too, because all the stuff that's been going on in college football, it's just crazy. Now UCLA and USC coming over to the Big Ten, and I think the SEC is saying we're good right where we are. I don't think you're going to see these 20-team super conferences.
It's an interesting topic. I'm not too sure where everything's headed, but I'll tell you, it'll follow the money. So wherever the money's headed, that's where it'll go. It is interesting, though. Just kind of the COVID season, I think, opened a lot of people's eyes. I don't know if everybody knows this, but the NCAA does not own the college football playoff. That's actually owned by the Power Five.
Yeah.
And the Power Five holds a lot of power over just the sport in general. So, like I said, wherever the money leads the Power Five, that's where these schools will go. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, well, and like for you, John, you're a super fan. I mean, what has it taken away from you, all this stuff that's been going on, whether it's transfer portal, NIL, obviously teams changing conferences? Does that take any of the pleasure of watching college football away?
Not to me at all. No, I'm just a big football fan, and my professional team out of Jacksonville hasn't done good for a long time, but I'm still a big fan.
Well, they had a bad coach last year.
Yeah, so I'm still a big fan of football. I mean, I love it. And like I was telling Trent earlier, I'm a true Gator fan. It doesn't matter how their season is. I'm going to be behind them 100%.
Well, you're a Green Bay fan, so they don't come to Jacksonville this year, do they?
No, we go to Tampa and Miami, and then I usually do. My kids are like, well, they blame me, but they're kind of born into the Green Bay Packer thing because my dad was a big fan, and I'm from just outside of Milwaukee. So we try to go up to a game at Lambeau about every 2-3 years or so. It's not a cheap trip, but we try to combo like a Cubs game, a Brewers game, and then go to Green Bay.
What do you got to fly to Milwaukee to get to Green Bay?
We've done different things. We've flown into Chicago and then driven up. We've flown never into Green Bay. It's kind of small. Like the only thing that's there is the stadium and cold storage. So there's a lot of different routes that we've taken. It depends upon what the other events are in the area, but it's always a great time.
So is it the Starkville of the NFL? Is that what you're saying?
You could say that. You could say that.
There's only one Starkville, I can tell you that. Stark Vegas. It's an amazing place. Not. And that's a funny thing for you guys. You don't really see the cities. I mean, you go on the road, you're in a hotel, you go to the stadium, you come out. Is there one stadium that you really like playing in?
Let's see. I think Death Valley is pretty cool. We've lost there twice, unfortunately, but the atmosphere there is electric. I like Kentucky, honestly. I like just the area. We stayed right outside of Lexington at a beautiful hotel.
Griffin Gate. I know the Griffin Gate very well.
It had a golf course on it. It's just a beautiful, beautiful venue. But, I like that area a lot. There's all the pastures around with the horse stables and everything. Yeah. My mom's actually from South Central Illinois, so it kind of reminds me of that. So, I think that's a really cool place.
John, did you have a favorite game when you played high school football? Was there one game that you remember that, I don't want you to go Al Bundy on me, but,
Well, I guess our senior year, when I played at Temple, probably only one game that we won was probably my favorite one. I think we won 60-something-0 that year. It was very pitiful.
What about you, Trent? You had to have a favorite high school game.
Yeah, breaking it down to one is difficult. I tell me and my teammates talk all the time. High school football is probably our best memories. Even playing in front of 100,000 people every week, or even larger than that. Still, you remember Friday nights like no other. And I say one thing I remember is GHS senior year. We played really well. Won pretty handily. Luke Matthews, he was the quarterback at GHS. Me and him are still really good buddies to this day, hang out all the time. But we talk about that every once in a while. He got us the 2 years before that, though, so he has some room to talk as well. But yeah, that game is a good memory. There's some others too. Bartram Trail, we beat a couple times. But I don't know if you remember Joey Gatewood.
Yes,
I believe
is
at
he at UCF or USF? He's
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
I think you're right. UCF.
I think it was. Yeah, I think it's UCF. But he was dominant in high school.
Yeah,
we were able to beat him a couple times.
He's on his third school, by the way.
Yeah, I mean that's becoming more common these days. But
who was it? Was it Tate Martell that actually went to 8 different schools?
Yeah, he was all over the place. I'm not sure where he is now.
He wasn't good at any of them. I think he actually retired from college football, which.
Yeah, he had a heck of a high school career at Bishop.
He was great, yeah. But it turned out he was, a little bit shorter than everybody thought.
Yeah.
Sometimes that happens. What's your favorite game as a Packer fan?
I mean, I used to wear the Bart Starr number 15 jersey when I was a kid. So I remember seeing the Ice Bowl on TV. It may have been black and white, but I remember because my dad was so excited about it. Obviously, the Super Bowl wins that I've been around to see. With Aaron and Brett Favre are my favorites, but that's always the ultimate achievement, I guess, in pro football. But I mean, win or lose, I mean, it's in all kinds of weather with Florida. Well, we had some very lean years at Green Bay, so what am I going to do? Change teams or something? I mean, I'm just not. So.
Well, it's like Seinfeld says, we're all just rooting for laundry. I mean,
exactly. The reason I like college football so much is because I view it as like a training camp to go to the pros. So I'm like, okay, they're at this college or this college. Let's see if we get them in the draft, and that'll be good for me.
Yeah. So do you? I mean, are you the kind of guy that will just sit and watch college football all day on a Saturday?
Usually working, Pat.
No. You need to take a day off.
This place is busy.
You need to take a Saturday off.
Thank you.
Well, the funny thing is, for me, after being at every Gator game home and away for 30 years or so, the last year I said, I'm going to see what it's like not to go to a game. So I'm going to sit home and watch all these games. And it was great. I liked it. I miss that. I mean, and you know what it's like, John. I mean, it's just when you're at a game and the electricity, you're glad you were there for it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny you bring up sitting and watching. I grew up doing, college game day, noon, 3, you just sit on the couch, But now, even on my bye week, I got so many buddies and even family that plays. So I end up watching games. And, college football is just, it's like no other. Even when you want to break from it, you really don't. You're going to end up watching it anyway. So,
what is the energy being on the field versus the energy that we have and the excitement we have in the stands? What is the difference?
I would say when you're playing, it's a huge difference because you're so focused. As a red shirt, I wasn't going in most of the games. I played in a couple, but that's when you kind of feel the crowd's energy more so because you're standing on the sideline and you're kind of hyping the guys up who are in the game. But when I play, it's more just locked in, focused, and I try to tune out whether I'm at home or on the road. At home, it definitely helps us. I can feel the momentum, but I don't really listen in. It's so loud, honestly, at most of the stadiums we play in. It's just kind of white noise, and you just play football.
Like that Auburn game a couple of years ago?
Yeah, I'd say that Auburn game and then Bama last year. I know we didn't come out on top, but that was really, really loud.
It got loud, and it'll get loud in here for football weekends. We know that with a lot of people watching all these games that are going to be on here. And we appreciate everybody for joining us here on GCM Eats, sponsored by Benny Keith and by Comfort Temp. And now we get to finish our meals that we've already started.
Let's do it.
And we'll be back, I don't know when we'll be back. We'll be back sometime. Till then, see ya.